Hey everybody, Dr. Mitch Holland here, Vitality Health, and today we're going to be doing a special session, kind of talking about what the challenges of the business are. I'm going to switch over here to sharing my screen. There we go. So I'm going to give you some updates today. The bottom line, doctors don't let your AR go to zero. The thing about that is accounts receivable for a doctor is a depreciating asset. What that means is um, as time goes on, the accounts receivable are worth less and less and eventually could go to zero, especially if medicine is nationalized. So, you know, we're always asking the question like, what's the incentive for the doctor to work with us? His incentive is that he's got this asset that's becoming worth less every day. So it's in his best interest to try to work with us, not to mention that we do the work, we never charge anything for our upfront work, which I may reconsider at some point, but at least at this point, we're doing a lot of service for free. We do all the evaluation of a doctor's accounts receivable, his surgical billing or medical costs, and we do all that analysis for no charge at this point with the hopes that they can be part of our network and we can do some business with them. We all understand the triangle of need. We primarily serve injury cases, and our business has four spheres of business, which is medical, legal, injury victims, and then this partnership aspect is getting very interesting because we're getting a lot of national equipment suppliers. We even have two medication companies that actually take liens from work comp and personal injury patients, and they do it nationwide here in the U.S., which I've never seen before. But I've actually got two of these companies. These companies hire sales reps mainly on commission, and they've been losing their salespeople because they can't get paid fast enough. It's a really big problem for them, and so we're able to obviously to advance their money against those accounts. Current events for today. So I made a media appearance last week on Sharkpreneur with Seth Green. It doesn't show, it's not going to air until, I should say June the 8th. Actually, not April. I wish it was April 8th. So it's not going to show until June the 8th. And that's going to be on Apple Podcast and on iHeartRadio. There's an audience of about 250,000. So we're going to get a lot of appearance, a lot of exposure with that, which all of us will be able to participate in. Dr. Tony from PIVIP is going to be doing a doctor's presentation with me on Monday. I'll be sending you all the invite for Dr. Tony's personal injury VIP meeting on Monday. He has 2,700 doctors, and everybody here from the company is invited to participate. Again, for those of you who don't know, Elgin is here, and he is fully versed in medical speak in Spanish, and he's been doing this a long time. He's an excellent sales rep, and for you guys who have Spanish-speaking audience, please feel free to rely upon Elgin. I'll give you his information. So I have some good news for you guys. Our fund has increased compensation for everyone of all types, legal, victim, and medical. And I met with my portfolio managers in my fund, and we've been able to figure out a way to increase the compensation. So we're all participating now in a much bigger piece of the pie. However, this requires us to do a little extra work. I call it increased insights. So we agreed to this increased compensation for increased participation in the work that it takes to get these deals done. And I'm going to tell you what that is in a minute. It's the same stuff we've been asking for, but they want us to do a little bit more. When we're bringing in a client, they want us working with the healthcare provider, the client, the attorney, just a little bit more to get them the information. This has been an issue for us. So here's our biggest challenge with doctors. Our biggest challenge is not bringing them in and not having a solution for them, but our biggest challenge is when we ask them for information, A lot of times we have to basically, I don't want to use the word wrestle exactly, but we have to approach them a lot of times and put a lot of effort into getting them to give us pretty simple information that they should be able to share with us. And something special, I'm actually going to tell you what that is today. This is something you guys don't see every day, but I'm going to share that with you so you have a little more understanding. So this is what's called case data. This is for an individual. Let's say somebody's in an accident. Individual is going to get a surgery. So what happens is that individual has a certain amount of information that we need to underwrite that transaction, or that funding or that expert opinion, whatever it is, right? So these are the things usually that we need. Police or incident report, the defense carrier info. This is the insurance information, the name of the person. The defendant is the person that got injured. If there's a complaint, this is a legal complaint. So the attorney has either filed something called a demand or a complaint. The medical records showing their injuries, liability docs if the lawyer has them, the amount of the funding request, and any outstanding medical bills. And so a lot of this, there are some very good lawyers, and what they do is they give me a Dropbox, and all of us exchange something called a HIPAA form, which is a confidentiality form. And then they give me access to this because they know that we've promised confidentiality and we can collect this information. This is for an individual case, somebody that's come to us where a lawyer is going to represent them or we're going to pay for their medical care. A lot of times when we get a surgical center, they'll say, I have 5 pending cases, and we'll try to collect this on all 5. A portfolio is a little bit different. And in an accounts receivable plan, we're talking about medical now, right? Because where our largest amount of service and the largest transactions that we can do are in accounts receivable portfolios nationwide in workman's comp and personal injury. You know that. But how do we get it? So what happens is we send somebody an email and we say, please fill out our application and we're going to give you a copy of the spreadsheet. I'm going to show you what those look like. This is a portfolio application for accounts receivable. When somebody it's a single doctor or a single case, there's actually a different form. This form is really for large, accounts receivable portfolios. And it asks quite a bit of information. Provide the company's history. What do you have outstanding? Do you have any bills? Are there any claims against you? Is the company in any lawsuits? We like to know because we want to make sure when the case is settled that we're able to get paid. So this is the application. And these are the fields on this Excel spreadsheet. The name of the patient, what type of claim it is, billing date, is it open or closed, the dates of service, how much has been billed, how much has been paid. There's actually quite a bit more. If you've written off anything, the name of the employee, like it goes very, very deep. The name of the attorney, if there's a referring physician, all of this information. Now, we don't really expect to get all of that. Really, what is important for us, date of injury, if it's an injury client. Sometimes they're not. Sometimes we're working with some clinics right now we're doing major medical portfolios on one place that does diagnostic services, and the clients aren't injured. They have insurance. So we do that too. Patient's name, the status of their case, the law firm information if it's applicable, and again, I asked for the case status twice. That's how important it is. I understand some of this information you may not have. Whatever spreadsheet you can send me, whatever information you have will suffice at this time. Why? Because depending upon their level of sophistication, and their program in their office, I have no idea what they can send. I don't want that to delay the deal or kill the transaction. I want to get what I can and then maybe go back and ask for more. So this has been an out point for us to close business. Our biggest challenge is getting this case data and this Excel spreadsheet. I don't know why it should not be that difficult, but I just wanted to mention this to you because this is something that we all can participate in, especially if we have a relationship with the provider to help them give us this information. So let's talk about your biggest challenges working for this company, right? So, we do a lot of different things, and I've been doing this for many years. I don't expect people to have the level of knowledge that I have, or anybody to have anyone else's knowledge. Bruce is here, and he has a lot of knowledge in other areas. Fred was in the securities business. Elgin's done a lot of plaintiff work. We all have different areas of expertise. Lawrence is an expert in lead generation and internet and media. So our biggest knowledge, our biggest challenge as people is, do we have knowledge? Do we have leads and connections, experience, motivation, money, time? These are all the issues that we're going to come up against. And being that most of the people that work for this company, what is that? Somebody, I can hear someone. I think that was Elgin. Okay, I took care of that. So money and time obviously are a big issue because everybody needs to get paid, right? And experience you can overcome because there are other people in this company, such as Fred and myself and Kelly and Elgin. Everybody's willing to help each other. So that's not really an issue. Leads and connections, it's really up to you to figure out what's your easiest source of those. My company, when we get a national account, we're going to give business to everyone. Aline is actually an expert at this. Almost every day she's been sending me clients, mostly from her connections on LinkedIn. She was working for a company that helped attorneys and has become really an expert at networking on LinkedIn and sends me leads almost if not every day, every other day, every couple of days, but consistently. So it's not impossible to do. I use LinkedIn quite a bit. There's easy business versus hard business, right? So there's some things that are going to be easier for you to sell just because you're more comfortable with it, or these are markets that you can easily, network in and create connections in. So, the easy business, quite frankly, is attorneys need experts. We pay for it. They're used to paying for it out of their pocket. It's easy business. The other easy business is doctors that are trying to buy practices that don't have the money. They can use their accounts receivable. Anybody that has any doctor or injury victim that has a need for money, it's easy business because they have a need for it. The hard business are, let's say, doctors' offices that don't see the immediate need. Again, doctors, do you want your AR to go to zero? We're here to make sure that doesn't happen or to take the risk ourselves that as this asset depreciates or your cases don't close, you've already been paid. So solutions are to look for the business that comes easier and to network. Learning will happen with time, connecting with other people in the company by having these weekly meetings. And then teeing off means when you're having or obtaining a client, you're talking to them, and they're speaking to you in a language you don't understand, they're asking you questions you don't have, is to bring in one of us, to bring in myself or Kelly or Fred or Bruce, anybody that can come in and kind of pick up on the transaction and participate with you to help that client get everything they need and to get it done. And Kelly will tell you, I bring her in on a lot of stuff. I'm constantly bringing everybody into everything I can because I think on a team basis, we're just going to do better. If we get a large accounts receivable portfolio, it could be 10, it could be $20 million. There's no reason for us not to use each other for help to get that thing done. And that's my vision for this company. I talked about it last time, and I'll mention it quickly again in terms of untapped markets. Business brokers that are assisting in the purchase and sale of medical practices, untapped. They don't even know we exist. They don't know that their clients that have injury practices have millions of dollars in accounts receivable that can be used to purchase the practice. The expert pays is paying for witnesses. Billing companies generally have no way to collect personal injury because there's no way to collect it until it pays. DME stands for durable medical equipment. This is supply companies A lot of times they're nationwide, and it's just as simple as a phone call to see if these guys are taking injury clients, if they're doing work comp and PI. If they are, they have accounts receivable, and if they're not, now that they know that we can pay them, maybe they'll be interested. So not difficult business. These guys are great. Surgeons, sometimes they want to do it, sometimes they don't. When you find a good one, businesses that are expanding with surgeons, a lot of these guys, spine surgeries are, and some of the traumatic brain injury work as well, very, very expensive. The injury clients desperately need it, and the it's a it's a very high paying area to have surgeons that utilize our service. And anybody that wants to be a brand ambassador or provider, I'd encourage you to bring people in that you know that are medical salespeople. One of our biggest areas of referral is from medical salespeople that work for other companies, including finance companies. They love us because we do everything they don't. So these are all terrific areas for you to consider, to network in, to try to help build the business. We've spoken about this before. Injury cases are settling because it's too expensive to litigate. Okay. So with that said, I'm going to kind of turn it over, and I want to ask you individually or collectively who wants to speak. I guess I could kind of start with you, Fred, if that's okay. Fred? Lose Fred? Okay. Maybe Fred. So let me talk to Elgin. Elgin, can you talk?
Hello, say that again. I'm sorry,
Fred's
I didn't hear you.
All right. Hi, Fred. Elgin, let me talk to Fred first, and I'll be right back with you. So, Fred, I want to talk to the team about the type of challenges. I mean, I know that this is kind of a mix for you. You've had a lot of experience, and most of the people you're bringing in are quite good, although we are having some challenges. So, just wanted to talk to you about the kind of challenges that you're having with your clients.
I mean, pretty much the same thing. Everybody, a lot of people seem to think their deal is better than it actually may be, and may not have the documentation necessary to meet our compliance standard, due diligence standards. Very much like Mitch, how when you talk to somebody about the price of their home, they always think it's worth more than what it actually is.
Right.
So it's very similar, and that's the rough part. Also, some other challenges are, as we experience, dealing with some difficult people where they're stuck on a set commission percentage, and then realizing, hey, you could have, if you're going to draw the line in the sand, you could have 100% of nothing. It's still nothing, as opposed to playing ball and working with us. Some other people also may feel like, well, they guard their information to the point where they don't allow themselves to be able to get an offer on their account receivables, or take a look at their deal, because they feel that they're worried about that information being shopped around, and diminishing the value of the deal. So relationship building is key, because of all those various obstacles that may or may not come up in any given situation. Sometimes you have to know when to be able to walk away if it's not, a situation that's not tenable.
Right, and I want to mention that Fred and I are actually, one deal we're working on is a commercial deal where somebody did not get paid on their stock, and I just wanted to mention it because we do we do advance money on commercial transactions as well. So I thought that was interesting. Hey, Kelly, can you jump in for a second?
Hi, I'm here.
Can you talk? You said you're at an event. Can you talk to me for a
I
minute?
can. I'm secluded right now.
All right. So as much as you'd like to share, I know that you've had some challenges, and you've done a great job of kind of like juggling your other parts of your life with working with me. And I just wanted to ask you, how things are going. You could share some of your experience with me.
So a lot of my experience originally prior to coming on was in higher education, but with medical programs. So PA programs, School of Medicine, and MD programs, doctoral programs. So that allowed me to connect with a lot of providers, and a lot of my responsibilities required recruiting clinical sites to agree to bring on these students. So my personal life has created a lot of challenges for me in being a single mom. So I'm trying to find that balance, but I fully believe in everything that is being done with this company, and I'm still settling in, but I'm a firm believer in building relationships with people. And I feel like once you can get that establishment, or create a connection with somebody, I mean, then they have your trust, and then it's open for lots of opportunities. And so that's where I'm at, seeking personal stability. But I know that in my personality and my connections that I have, that there's so many options to creating and bringing in business, and that's what I'm excited to get to do. So
Thank you, Kelly. Thank you.
and these meetings help a lot because it allows me to hearing other people's challenges and other avenues that we're moving into, like you said, with commercial is very helpful. So I appreciate that.
You're welcome. I'm going to ask Elgin to come back on here.
Yeah, I'm here.
Hi, Elgin. So you're very experienced on the plaintiff side, and
Mhm.
now you're working with us. And I wanted to ask you, like, what kind of challenges have you had? And um, I just want to get a little bit of your background as well.
Okay, basically, I come to the from the finance industry, specifically from the cash advance industry for small and medium companies. Do some medical receivables also, generally factoring. And in the last year, I saw a lot of people that have injury, okay, and like to do plaintiff cash advance or pre-settlement loans. Uh, the major challenge, I think so, first of all, is find this kind of people, okay? Because an example, you can go to the system of the court and all this stuff, but it's very difficult to find this kind of people. And the other thing is that when they will come to me, generally most of these people have previous pre-settlement loans, and generally are big amount of money. Example, you and I saw a case that a person have a debt of 425,000 in plaintiff loan right now. And that kind of things, it's tough because we want to help people, but obviously if they have large balances in plaintiff loans, it's very tough to work with.
Right.
Okay. And basically that are the major challenges, where to find these people, and try to see, aboard them, and present to them our opportunity that we can help them. Okay. And generally, cross our fingers that they doesn't have previous plaintiff loans.
Right. I know Elgin's been sending me some stuff, and obviously we would love to be in first position on all of that, but sometimes they come in and they do have pre-existing. I would have loved to have written the 425,000. Would have made me happy. Those are actually very good cases. So I'm going to mute you for just a second. So to that point about what Elgin is saying, see, what I wanted to point out is there's a way to short circuit this process. He's kind of doing the long, hard work, which is really working for him. But when you, like Kelly said, when you make a relationship with a doctor or a lawyer or a supplier or a salesperson, I mean, Elgin has introduced me to medical salespeople that already know people. It's a way to short circuit. It's the easy versus the hard approach. And as I mentioned, I think that's very valuable. I reach out to people on LinkedIn every day. I'm always looking for these kind of national accounts. And then Monday, like I said, for you, those of you who missed it, we'll be on a Zoom call with Dr. Tony, who has at least 2,500 doctors. And so I'm pretty sure that he's interviewing me. So, if any of us are there and able to make that, I don't even have the link yet, but I'll send it over the weekend. I think that'd be beneficial for us to be able to share in that business that he may be able to, the clients that need our assistance. Anything else from anybody before we wrap up today?
No questions here.
Oh, hello.
Hi, Eric.
Hi. I just
Oh, hi.
how you doing? I was wondering, is there a way to get maybe like an example of, I don't know, talk to somebody to get like the general steps with a case that they were successfully able to, refer to you, like what they did and how they got the lead and kind of the type of, I guess more details I was looking for.
Right. Well, there's unfortunately, Eric, there's no real way to know. So there's a couple of things that has to happen, right? So if we're talking about an accident case, there needs to be somebody that's at fault. So for instance, somebody that's rear-ended in a car accident is pretty simple. A box fell on your head at Target. Somebody didn't, there's numerous scenarios. You fell down, somebody was mopping the floor in a hotel. I have one right now. Guy fell down, hurt his neck, and he's going for 3 surgeries. So that's the first part, is that there's an injury, there's somebody that's injured because of no fault of their own, right? Now, on the other
Okay.
side of that, the person that's responsible, which might be the premises or the person driving the other car or somebody with insurance, the other side of that, there has to be, they have to have insurance, and they have to have the coverage. So if somebody has 100,000 in insurance and 200,000 medical bills, they're not going to be a good customer, right? So we just have to go through the process. We look at everything. Everybody that's been in an injury that thinks that they have something for us that we can help them with, we want to talk to them, and we can elevate their case. We can introduce them to a lawyer. So the answer is, we look at any type of an injury case where somebody has been injured through no fault of their own, whether bodily or financially, and we have to assess it on its merits. There's no typical standard client, unfortunately.
Okay, because those people you're talking about, like the injury, how did you find them or meet them to begin with?
Well, I have connections. So lawyers send me clients, doctors send me clients, clients send me
Oh,
lawyers and doctors. I mean, I have a network, and I join various groups.
oh, okay.
I'm part of networking groups, and it's okay. So Eric, hang on a second, because we have to end soon. Bruce wants to ask a
Oh,
question.
okay. Thanks.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Hi.
Oh, sorry. Can you unmute, Bruce? I'm sorry.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay. I was curious, you were on a big podcast the other day, and I don't know if you got a chance to talk about it, but I didn't hear.
You came a little bit late. It's not going to air till June the 8th. So we're not going to have any exposure to that for another month or so. So, yeah, it went well. That was Lawrence Wilson is here. He actually set that up. And we did that media appearance last week, and on Monday, we'll be doing a Zoom call with Dr. Tony with his 2,700 doctors. So those are 2 things that are kind of current, like media style developments.
Okay, well, you got to get it in before the Disinformation Society gets you.
Oh, please, I can't. Okay, I'm going to pick up for Elgin. He's raising his hand. Thank you, Bruce. Elgin, go ahead.
Um, Basically, I want to explain to the people that are here that not only the part of plaintiff includes, accidents or all this stuff. There are other kind of things that you can make also money. An example, wrongful death. An example, any kind of abuse in the church, Boy Scouts, all this stuff, that you can also see that kind of cases. It not needs to be a physical injury, could be other kind of injury, mental, emotional, all this stuff that will be provoked for another person. Okay, don't concentrate only in slip and falls or car accidents that are good cases, okay? But you have other kind of things, malpractice, all of that kind of
Medical malpractice,
injuries.
device injury, we do mass
Yeah.
tort, hernia mesh.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah. Also, medication, Santax, so any kind of medication that cause damage to people, and all of that kind are potential people that you can approach, okay, and come here to the pipeline, and present it.
Thank you, Elgin. If there's nothing else, I think we're going to end it here today.
Okay, wait.
Go ahead, Lawrence
Hello?
Wilson.
Hello there, everybody.
Hello.
Okay. I want to tell me what you can about medical billing. If you were going after medical billing, what would they want? What's their
Well,
hotspot?
the thing about a medical billing company is they're working on very small margins, and they are also their doctors that they're serving may be doing personal injury and workman's comp. And there's not much that a billing company can do for that. Specifically, personal injury and medical billing can do nothing in personal injury, zero. Because a personal injury case doesn't settle or pay for, and it pays in bulk. I mean, they can put the bills together, but they can't do anything. There's nobody to bill. So and we'll pay a medical billing company. We'll put them on, we'll make them a partner with our company to pay them for the business they refer to us. So whenever I call a billing company, they're always a very natural source of business for us because they don't really know what to do with their work comp and PI. They're deferred, the clients that have deferred accounts receivable. They also have stuff they can't collect on. And Amir Towns isn't here today, but we actually have a division that will take that and also work that as well. So we have multiple avenues, and I'll talk to you more about this, Lawrence, about medical billing companies. But for the most part, you can reach out to them and tell them that they have doctors, yes. Are they doing personal injury, workman's comp? Yes. And we're a source that can do something with that, and we'll compensate them. We'll be able to pay them if they can introduce us to their doctors that are doing workman's comp and personal injury.
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay, I think I'm going to cut here. I've got to jump. Thank you all for coming. Always a pleasure. I will try to do this on a more central weekday so you can get, greater input. I appreciate every one of you. Please feel free to call me. Elgin, Fred, I know I need to speak to you, and Kelly and Alina. Eric, thank you for coming. Lawrence, always a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Holland.
You're welcome.
Bye.